Hi, Genderqueer Chat. This is Jay, and it is Monday. And this week's topic is I want to give a shout out to Christina. This is a great topic. Do you experience dysphoria with some parts of your body? If so, how do you deal with it? Also, how do you view your typically feminine slash masculine body parts? As male or female parts, or as androgynous, non-gendered because you identify as a genderqueer person? Um, so there's a few different parts to this question, and the thing I think is really most interesting about this question is Matt said in previous videos that they see gender like there's as many genders in the world as there are people. And I think dysphoria kind of falls in line with that, especially within the genderqueer community. Um, you know, while there are similarities and common things that people deal with, as far as dysphoria is concerned, I feel that it's pretty varied across the spectrum and varied in terms of how people experience their dysphoria, what they become dysphoric about specifically, and to completely varying degrees. So while dysphoria tends to be something that a lot of genderqueer people experience, I think everyone experiences it in their own way. Um, and personally, I really feel this acutely because the dysphoria that I experience, I've never really heard anybody else talk about or discuss. Um, so it might be a little odd because I've never heard anybody else really talk about this, but I actually get really dysphoric about my body hair. Um, I know some of the female body people on this channel talk about how they don't shave. Well, I have the exact opposite thing. If I don't shave my body hair, I really can kind of go in a downward spiral about it. In our society, in Western society, body hair is typically a male masculine thing, and you know that smooth body is more of a feminine thing, and there's nothing that makes me feel more man than body hair. So I shave pretty much from the eyebrows down, and that definitely makes me feel a lot more comfortable in my own skin. Um, there are times when I don't mind having body hair, but I mean, I could be fine with body hair Monday and want to crawl into a hole and die on Tuesday. So, fortunately, it's something I have some control over. But while I don't really feel extreme dysphoria about any other particular body part, I would never really, I don't really identify as trans. I would never go get surgery of any real sort, but I would and have totally consider getting electrolysis to just remove all my body hair. It just makes me feel better being me when it's not there. So that is something that, I have to shave several times a week. I am a follically endowed person, so I spend a ton on razors and water shaving. But yeah, it's something that really just makes me feel better about myself, and something that really bothers me when it's there. Um, Other than that, the dysphoria that I experience is pretty mild. I think some of it, like Dallas was saying in their video, might just be typical person not liking certain characteristics about themselves. Um, you know, I've mentioned before, I've struggled with my weight my whole life. So, but not only am I a big person in that way, I'm just a big person. I'm almost 6'2". Uh, I am big hands. I wear a size 14 men's shoe, which is a 16 in heel women's, if you want to do the math. So, you know, I'm just a big person, and, people have asked me before, if there was one thing about your body that you could change, what would you change? And I always say, my feet. If I could get a foot reduction, I absolutely would in a heartbeat. Not only is it hard to find men's shoes, but it's almost impossible to find women's shoes. There's only a couple companies, I think, in the world that really make them. And yeah, I happen to love shoes. I have many pair as it is, and I would probably have hundreds more if I had smaller feet. But it is something that is so man-ish about me that it does bother me, but at the same time, it's something that I've totally come to accept as just who I am. There's really no changing it. I think Matt actually mentioned in one of their videos a long time ago that about dysphoria that, if they could walk into a machine and come out with a different body, they probably would. And I can definitely relate to that. If there was just some magic pill or, a machine you could walk into and come out with a different body, would I? Probably, yeah. But I think most people who aren't extremely vain or just awesomely comfortable with themselves would. I think most people feel like there's something that they would like to change about themselves if they could. The second part of this question, which I really think is fascinating, and I'm interested to hear everybody else's responses about. Do you view your typically feminine/masculine body parts, or how do you view your typically feminine/masculine body parts, as female or male parts, or as androgynous, non-gendered, because you identify as a genderqueer person? This is something I haven't really heard too many people talk about either, and being a gender fluid person, I kind of see my parts as both. Sometimes more masculine and sometimes much more feminine. Being a bigger person, I have a larger chest for a male-bodied person, and when I see that chest, I really don't think of it as masculine at all. I think of it as kind of a feminine thing, but as far as my lower parts go, yeah, I would say more often than not, I actually think of them more as feminine than masculine. On the day-to-day, like Joe said in their video, I don't really think about them, but if I'm intimate with somebody particularly, yeah, I don't really think of them as masculine parts, or very rarely think of them as masculine parts. There are occasions when I am very much in that mindset and frame of mind and think of them as masculine, but more often than not, particularly during sex and with somebody, yeah, I think of them kind of in feminine terms. And I don't think I'm alone there. I think other people probably also think of their parts like that, but I don't know. I think it's kind of hard to wrap your head around something that's obviously masculine or feminine in terms of another gender. but I think that's why I don't experience as much dysphoria about my penis than other people do, or my chest. I don't really experience dysphoria about that at all. It's even when I had thought about the possibility that I was trans, I never really wanted or had any desire to change those parts. Yeah, I'm just kind of okay with them being what they are, and even though they are male body parts, I see them and think of them as feminine, at least most of the time. And when I don't, it's because I'm in that masculine frame of mind and side of myself, and am okay with expressing that at the time. Bonus question: what is your favorite show or concert that you've ever been to? And I'm gonna do a couple things here because I've had the privilege of being just a couple hours away from New York, so I've gotten to see a ton of amazing Broadway shows, all of which have been fantastic. You can't see a bad show on Broadway. I'm convinced of it. I go pretty much every year, but I've seen the original Broadway cast of Spring Awakening with Lea Michele. I saw the original Broadway cast of Book of Mormon, which, Joe, Dallas, definitely go see it. Hilarious. One of my favorite shows of all time. Matt Stone and Trey Parker, heroes of mine. I think they are brilliant. I think they are two of the smartest writers on television, period. And Book of Mormon is a scream. It's definitely worth of it. My buddy actually just got back from an audition for the tour yesterday. He didn't get a call back, but that's okay. My favorite show that I've seen on Broadway was actually The Producers. I saw it with Nathan Lane and Matthew Broderick when they did it on Broadway, and it was amazing. They were fantastic. Absolutely loved it. I also saw Wicked Dallas, which was fantastic, but I didn't get to see that with the original cast. I would have loved to see Kristen Chenoweth doing her thing. But favorite rock show? I've seen hundreds and hundreds of rock shows. I toured in a band for a while. I had a really good friend of mine who was in a huge band, so I got into pretty much every show that they played in the area. But two top rock shows, a band called the RX Bandits out of Southern California, kind of reggae, punk, ska, sort of prog rock kind of thing going on. I just saw an amazing show with them with an awesome crowd that was just so into it, and the energy in the space was just phenomenal. It was total trip. Other greatest rock show, Green Day puts on one hell of a rock show. Saw them at Warped Tour, saw them a couple other places, but yeah, they blow the house down when they play. They're amazing to watch live. And my other top show, I saw Stanley Jordan, who's a crazy, insane jazz guitarist who taps everything. So he like taps chords with one hand and then like solos with the other. It's crazy, but I saw his trio play at a jazz club in New York called the Iridium. And I mean, I was like 10 feet away from him, and the whole trio was just out of control good. Really tasteful drummer who was just uber talented. Their bass player, he was like slapping the bass with his bow, like just doing crazy runs, out of control. And Stanley Jordan, look him up on YouTube. He does an entire arrangement of Eleanor Rigby solo on his guitar. Incredible. So they're my top shows. Anyway, great topic this week. Really excited to see everybody else's video, and really enjoyed watching Joe's and Dallas's video this week. Really awesome topic. Thanks. I'll see y'all next week.